Hello out there to everyone in the verse. Gabby here with my weekly show where I do my best to offer up advice and solutions to the many interpersonal problems that any one of us might face, whether that be tackling relationship difficulties or just being an ear for someone in need. Tonight we have a couple of interesting stories I want to share, and of course a Dear Gabby update as well. Remember that if you have your own difficulty you would like to share, please mail in your concern or you can post it in the comments below and I will give my very best advice to you if chosen. So be sure to let me know your troubles for your own chance at a problem-solving take from the galactically known Gabby. First off, a couple of things I need to discuss before we officially begin the show. My longtime producer, who without her, this show would not have seen the growth it has, left to pursue her own talk show back in Terra. So I want to wish Terra good luck on her new show, Terra from Terra. But I know she does not need it and will be amazing. That leaves me to introductions which need to be made. Before leaving, Tara helped me go through far too many candidates to count, and while we had so many good ones, ultimately we chose this young gentleman who hails from Cassell in the Goss system. But I will let him tell us about himself, so please give a warm welcome to Jerome Trumbull, or just Trumbull as he likes to be called. Hi Trumbull, how is your first show going so far?
It's going smooth so far. I'm a bit nervous because it's a brand new system from what I'm used to back home. But so far, fingers crossed, everything sounds good.
Everything sounded good on our pre-show checks, so I think you did an amazing job, and my feeds all look good. How are you liking it here in Stanton so far?
It's so brand-driven, and I'm more used to the touristy economy, whereas here you have bright, flashy signs and Moby-Glass commercials everywhere you go. It's been an adjustment for sure, not to mention people here are more to themselves.
Well, that's how it goes here in Stanton, where business and commerce are king. You'll get used to it, even if it isn't as accommodating as Cassell. Well, I wanted to thank you for stepping up and moving all the way out here to be with us, and I know the listeners will greet you with open arms, even if they never see you in the booth. Now, let's get on with tonight's show before we take up too much time. We first must acknowledge a message from Fizz Cola. During last week's show, I mentioned the Fizz Cola company by name when warning a listener about drinking too much caffeine before bed, which is something I strongly believe in, but meant no disrespect or slander toward Fizz Cola. One of these days, Gabby will learn to not mention brands by name, but I am so used to calling any soda Fizz that I did so without thinking, so no harm intended to the Fizz people. Now, let's get to one of my favorite advertisements that actually goes quite well with some Fizz Cola Zero. Before I dive into this week's topics, I first wanted to thank my longtime sponsor, Torpedo Burrito. When Gabby has had a rough day and wants to unwind, I stop by my local Torpedo Burrito and grab the vegan wrap, which has been an almost weekly favorite of mine for many years and has helped me through some truly turbulent times. Not everyone can agree on the nutritional value of one of these hand-wrapped burritos from the gods, but it doesn't stop how good having one can make you feel, and that's what's important. Torpedo burritos are pretty much everywhere, and you can also order one directly using your Moby-Glass and have one of the many great delivery service members in the verse bring them right to your door. It doesn't get any easier than that. Now, on to the show. Our first writer tonight has a sad story, and they write, Dear Gabby in Space, we recently lost everything on our ship, which was also our home, due to a fire that started in the kitchen. A further investigation revealed that it started due to a short in the microwave, and now our ship insurance, Ellipse Mutual, does not want to cover the damages, saying the microwave was not installed by the ship manufacturer, and therefore the aftermarket company should be the one covering our damages. And of course, the microwave manufacturer wants proof of purchase, but we bought the ship used from one of those used ship lots on Damar, who of course refuses to do anything since the ship only came with a 90 90-day warranty, and we're at day 99. They did at least offer us a good deal on another ship if we were interested, but not sure I will go with them again. At this point, me and my spouse are displaced and stuck on Port Olisar, but as you know, the station is set to be demolition soon, so we're being told that we need to make arrangements. If ever we could use some advice on where to seek help, we thought you might know given your vast knowledge about Stanton and the surrounding systems in terms of assistance. Signed, Life in Tatters. Dear Life in Tatters, it looks like luck has straight up stepped on you and your other half like a boot on a space roach. There are quite a few options you can seek out for assistance in Stanton, and being close to Crusader is one of the better places you could have had this happen at. But you mentioned Eclipse Mutual, and so I reached out to one of my contacts there and moved your claim up to a supervisor for review. I have been informed by Trumbull here that as of today, you two have heard back from them and your ship has been towed to Orison for repairs, and you both are living comfortably at one of their fine amenities while your ship is being worked on. I'm glad you reached out and that you're in good hands, which reminds me out there, folks, if and when you receive bad news, especially when it's life and death, try escalating your issue up to a higher chain in command. Oftentimes, your first point of contact can be someone who might not know all of the ins and outs, and the one thing with insurance is that they make mistakes or misunderstand a situation, and so it's always a good idea to keep on trying. Thank you for writing in and hope you're back out in space soon. Our next writer has a problem so many of us have endured, especially when living in tight quarters. They write, Dear Gabby in Space, I am at my wit's end. I live in the artist district on ArtCorp while I attend school, and my upstairs neighbors are in some space ska band, and after playing their gigs, they come home late at night and it sounds like they are herding Fair's apes up there. I have tried asking them to keep it down, I've left letters on their door, and even had the police check it out, but they just continue after a day or two. I tried getting out of my lease, but I cannot afford anything else on my school stipend. I know this seems trivial for a letter to the galactically known Gabby, but I don't know where else to turn. Signed, Puffy Eyes in Class. Dear Puffy Eyes in Class, your problem is one I get a letter about at least every 6 months or so you're not alone. Dealing with loud and obnoxious neighbors seems to be a rite of passage in every major city, and my advice on this is always the same. If you are unable to change your location or your neighbor's frame of mind, then turnabout is fair play. Leave your music on loud during the day to keep them awake. Go through your place on a tear, slamming cabinets and doors. Run around the apartment, banging something on the ceiling randomly. Putting someone else in your shoes can help them to understand your pain, and usually there are no noise ordinances for daylight hours, so they can't even call law enforcement. I wish you luck and hope those eyes go back down to be less puffy. It's now time for a Dear Gabby update, and this week's update comes to us from Twin Sandwiches, who writes, Dear Gabby in Space, a couple of months ago you had a letter writer claiming to know the twins' famous house dressing recipe, and they were threatening to release it because they were disgruntled with the restaurant. We thank you for airing that, and it is with great satisfaction that we can announce that the person in question has been served a cease and desist order, and they have settled the matter outside of court with us in our favor. So the recipe remains safe and sound, and we thank you again. Come on by anytime for your favorite sandwich, the Godmother, on us. Signed, Twin Sandwiches. Well, I am glad that this has come to a satisfactory conclusion, but I am curious if the person actually had the real recipe, and if so, how did they come by it? There's definitely more to this story than we've been told, but I guess some things are better left unknown. Thanks for the update. That is all for this week's show. Tune in next week, and until then, I hope you all stay safe out there in the verse, and me and my staff,
And Trumbull.
yes, and our newest member, Trumbull, thank you for watching. Good night.